Oh, hey lovely audience, you just caught me doing my little checklist to see how I'm going with my own personal transition. With every trans person, there's different criteria of what transitioning means, right? Different people will do different parts of it, and I'm checking my own personal one to see where I'm going with all this. It's been a long transition, and I'm excited to see what the next step for me is.
A few moments later.
I'm done. That's right, the transition that I intended to do has been completed. If this was a save file in a video game, there would be that 100% little thing and I'd get the platinum trophy, so to speak. And that's kind of scary. Like when you imagine the end point, you're like, what does that entail? What does it mean to transition? What does it mean to have transitioned past tense? Well, I recently learned that fact, and I would like to share it in a video, as I found it surprisingly interesting. Ever since I've transitioned as of a few years ago, I've really come out of my shell as a person, I think. I've done various things that I never expected I would ever do, and I surprise myself every day. Long ago, when I was a teenager, I would frequently go to shopping centers dressed in girls' clothes secretly and have a grand old time. And I won't lie to you, I feel a little bit of nostalgia looking back on that as I've reached the end of transition, right? Those moments where I'd put on a wig, do my makeup, do outfits, and I'd feel like a transformation, so to speak. It'd be like, boring boy becomes cute girl. It was a really exciting time, and I feel a lot of nostalgia for that as a result. Now, would I want to go back to that time? No. However, there is a nice bit of nostalgia when I think about it. Nowadays, when I present femme, it's less of a transformation, so to speak, as I've already done the transforming, right? I can put on makeup and do my hair all nice, but I usually look about the same. It's not as dynamic of a difference. It's not like suddenly putting on a wig and then all the guys around you suddenly crush on you. If it wasn't for this YouTube channel, I probably would have forgotten about the fact I'm trans, as the longer you transition, the less you kind of think about your transness, because you don't have to really think about it at some point. Unlike a video game you're 100% completed, transition isn't the end, right? Like, life continues. It's like you get to the end of the game and you find out there's a super secret expansion where you bring all your stuff into the new game, and you gotta use that new stuff in new ways to accomplish new feats. That's kind of how it goes. You finish transition and life continues. As you can imagine, there is more to me than the fact that I'm trans. I know, I make trans YouTube videos, so generally I am viewed as that random Australian trans girl in everyone's feeds. Yes, I know, I sound slightly American, blame SpongeBob. Now, throughout transition, there are some unrelated things that I confronted and overcame as a person, because transition enabled me to feel better about my mental health enough to be bothered to help it in the first place, right? Longtime viewers might know I've had some hearing issues I've overcome over the years, as I ended up getting tinnitus, hyperacusis, misphonia, and a fourth one I forgot at a party because I stood too close to a DJ speaker and it awakened all sorts of stuff in my ears. This led to some anxiety troubles, and it actually made it really hard for me to go to loud events. It still does. Now, this problem is completely unrelated to transition. It was the first major obstacle I recall having to overcome unrelated to my transness. So I had to do all sorts of things like see an audiologist, get earplugs, take care of my ears, wrap my head around the fact that I've damaged my ears and I can't undamage them, you know what I mean? But I digress. If I was in a scenario where I wasn't transitioning and I got these hearing problems, I likely would have chosen to just stay inside forever and not really go outside, as my ears don't hurt when I'm inside. But because I like going out there in the big wide world as a girl, well, it's worth trying. It's felt worth it. Transition made fixing this issue worth it. You know what I mean? Now that I'm at the end of transition, more of these kind of little obstacles are a bit more apparent, a bit more head-on. Throughout my life, I've always wanted to live and work in Japan. That was the dream of little kid me, and there was some things that prevented me from doing so. My own personal dysphoria meant that my first ever trip to Japan was actually kind of miserable. I made a video about it. When I was 15 and I went to a Tokyo high school briefly, I kind of got hit on by a lot of girls there, and it would sound like the weeaboo redditor's dream or whatever. But for me, a dysphoric trans kid, that was a really bad circumstance for me. Long story short, I left Japan behind in my life in a sense, and I decided to focus on other things. However, now that I've fully done transition and I've had time to think about it, I won't lie, I spent a lot of time studying Japanese. And, well, it's hard to fully separate yourself from something that you've made part of your life for so long. I still have the desire to get fluent at Japanese. I still have the desire to go and study in Japan, you know what I mean? Now, I no longer have the desire to work in Japan, but that distinction's important. As a result, when I woke up from my surgery, one of the earlier things I thought about was, oh dang, I wanna go to a language school in Japan, that'd be cool. Now, it's a bit strange that that was one of the first things I thought of when I woke up from surgery, but hey, we'll take it. For whatever reason, for the past few months, my brain has been hyper-fixated on the idea of going to Japan and studying for a few months, getting super fluent, and then coming back. And let's be real, if I didn't transition, I would have had no desire to do that. Because I have surgery sorted, traveling means I don't have to carry as much medication with me, which makes it a little more realistic to go to another country for a few months, study, and come back. Which, by the way, if I did move to Japan briefly, would you want to see videos about Japan? Let me know. I wanna gauge that, because like I know it's like a trans channel, but like, you know, having different niches is always good. So if that interests you, let me know. Another personal problem I've managed to relatively confront, so to speak, was I have this weird thing where I either be like too productive to a detriment or too unproductive. You know what I mean? Getting that middle ground is actually surprisingly difficult. Now, before I did content in the long ago years, I used to study relentlessly just to kind of ignore my mental health, basically, and that was pretty disastrous. So I kind of thought following these like how to be more productive videos would actually make me happier. It didn't. I just needed to transition and then from there figure out what I needed. It turns out attempting to be a polyglot Giga Chad did not suddenly make my dysphoria go away. So over the years of my transition, I've kind of let myself relax a bit and enjoy things, which kind of led for like my interest to blossom, like dancing and video games. There's a lot of video games I missed out on when I was a teenager because I was too busy studying, right? However, I've kind of gone the other way, where have you ever scrolled on your phone? Well, you might have found this video first scrolling on your phone, so sorry to get meta for a second, but I have a weird habit of scrolling too much. You might relate to it, you might not. As a result, ever since I got back from Thailand from surgery, I chose to try to scroll less. And I won't lie, it's been super beneficial to do so, as I still feel like I'm seeing all the YouTube videos I care about and like I enjoy watching. I've been happier without it needing to scroll on social media. I pretty much just scroll on Blue Sky now, and like, I don't do it that much because Blue Sky doesn't seem as intended to be addictive. I'm unsure though. I've used browser extensions to prevent me from being able to scroll Reddit and Instagram. I changed all the apps on my phone to one color to make it a bit harder to figure out which app is which, and this is surprisingly effective. Like, I can't just mindlessly hit the Reddit button on my phone because I don't know where Reddit is. So those little things have given me a little bit more time, and the part I'm working on right now is choosing what I want to do with that time. Because you gotta balance rest with stuff you find productive. You know what I mean? So I'm trying my best to find a balance of like fun stuff, productive stuff, and just making sure I get a good balance. I started going on walks a lot. That's been really nice. I've been getting consistent fresh air, and that's been really great for my skin actually. I've been trying to get better sleep. All these acts of self-care are due to more or less the fact that transitions made me care about my body, right? Because I like it now, you know what I mean? Dysphoria made me not like my body, you know what I mean? So you don't really feel like taking care of it if you don't like it, right? It's a very easy thing to do mentally. So now that transition's done, I feel more inclined to improve my health. You know, improving health in a healthier way rather than like those kind of grind set videos you see on YouTube where like they're doing routines that don't seem human. You can find balance in your lifestyle if you go for it, and you can do it in a way that won't be insane. I've started adding more vegetables to my meals rather than cutting down on what I eat, and that's been really nice. It's like having more vegetables keeps me nice and full and energized, and the food's just nice for me. And I've taken up doing more dancing each day, and that's been a really positive feeling. So to conclude the video, what's next for me now that transition is done? Well, I don't know yet. I don't know what the next chapter is for me, so to speak. There's a possibility of me doing university part-time in the background as I make YouTube videos, so I guess that's the next step for me, maybe. And perhaps doing the study in Japan thing. But as far as videos go, in case you're wondering, I'm still going to be posting every week as I normally do, so subscribe if you want to see more of that. But now that my own personal transition's done, I feel a strong sense that I want to help other trans people, hence my like career aspirations of helping trans people through these videos and also doing speech pathology long term for uni. And like, it's just been really nice to be able to help other people through a time where no one helped me. Early in my own transition, people weren't very receptive and people weren't very accepting. And videos at the time kind of presented this kind of unobtainable standard. You feel like most of the people in these videos are literally supermodels. And I understand I look pretty good, I think. But I try my best in these videos to just kind of make transition seem more grounded and like a thing anyone can do, right? Because anyone can transition, you know what I mean? So I guess long term, my focus is doing the things I've always wanted to do and also helping trans people. And that's more or less my aspirations, my dreams, so to speak. I mean, when I was a little kid, my long-term dreams were two things: become a girl and be a YouTuber. As you can imagine, little kid me would be feeling pretty good if they saw this right now. Because I've already transitioned, so to speak, now everything I talk about is going to be like in a retrospective lens. And the content's kind of already been that. But it's kind of interesting that more and more, there'll be a bit more of a time era disconnect between when I transitioned and when people watching are going to be transitioning. So I'll do my best to keep that in mind to make sure the videos stay relevant and helpful for everyone, whatever stage of transition you might be. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more from me, hit the funny subscribe button, hit the funny like button, and comment what you thought. Let me know. I love reading comments, they're really nice. And if there's a specific trans topic you want me to cover, let me know. If you got to the end of this video, I need to give you a little word to type into the comments so I know that you watched the whole video. So, let's go with notepad. Try to put the word notepad in your comments. Get creative. I had a video ages ago where I told people to say hairbrush, and I kind of, it fills me with a bit of a joy seeing the word hairbrush in those comments. So yes, the word of the day, notepad. As always, stay hydrated and know that you are valid. I believe in you. And if no one said it yet, I'm proud of you. And depending on when this comes out, happy Pride Month. I think this comes out in Pride Month. Maybe before Pride Month. Either way, keep being you. I'm gonna now go have some curry.